Have you noticed how certain developments suddenly capture the attention of the entire Iraqi Dinar community? That's exactly what's happening right now. Investors across the world are closely following events in Washington, not because of rumors or online speculation, but because high-level meetings involving Iraq often provide valuable insight into the country's long-term economic direction. Whenever senior officials gather to discuss financial cooperation, banking reforms, or economic policy, currency watchers naturally begin asking important questions. Could these discussions signal additional progress in Iraq's financial reform agenda? Will they strengthen confidence in the country's banking system? And what might they mean for Iraq's long-term economic future? These are reasonable questions, but it's important to separate confirmed developments from speculation. At this time, there has been no official announcement from the Iraqi government or the Central Bank of Iraq regarding any revaluation, RV, of the Iraqi dinar, or any change to the official exchange rate. Investors should focus on verified information rather than internet rumors. What makes this moment noteworthy is the broader context. Iraq has been working to modernize its financial sector, improve banking oversight, reduce illegal currency trading, and strengthen cooperation with international financial partners. These efforts don't usually produce dramatic overnight results, but they can gradually build a stronger and more stable financial system. That is why experienced investors are paying close attention. They understand that meaningful economic progress is often reflected through consistent policy reforms, stronger institutions, and improved financial governance rather than sudden announcements. While headlines may come and go, the long-term direction of Iraq's economic reforms remains the story that deserves the most attention. In today's discussion, we'll examine why these developments are attracting so much interest, what financial reforms are currently underway, and why many observers believe Iraq's ongoing modernization efforts are worth following. More importantly, we'll look at the confirmed facts behind the headlines and explain why patience and careful analysis remain essential for anyone following the Iraqi dinar. One of the biggest reasons investors are watching these developments so closely is that Iraq's economic future depends on far more than politics alone. Behind every major meeting is a larger conversation about financial stability, banking reform, and long-term economic growth. Those are the issues that have the potential to influence investor confidence over time. Over the past several years, Iraqi authorities have taken steps to strengthen oversight of the country's financial system. Efforts have focused on improving banking regulations, expanding compliance measures, increasing transparency, and limiting illegal currency trading. These initiatives are designed to create a more reliable financial environment that supports both domestic businesses and international investment. A stable banking system is one of the foundations of a healthy economy. When financial institutions operate under stronger oversight, governments are better able to monitor the flow of money, reduce financial crime, and improve confidence in official markets. These improvements may not generate immediate headlines, but they often play an important role in supporting long-term economic stability. Another major priority has been the modernization of Iraq's banking infrastructure. Electronic payment systems continue to expand, digital banking services are becoming more widely available, and financial institutions are investing in technologies that improve efficiency and accountability. Around the world, countries with modern financial systems are generally better positioned to attract investment and participate more effectively in the global economy. This modernization effort also helps reduce reliance on cash transactions. Digital payments create more transparent financial records, improve tax collection, reduce opportunities for fraud, and make it easier for regulators to monitor economic activity. While these changes take time to implement, they represent meaningful structural improvements that many economists view as positive for the country's financial future. Another issue receiving significant attention is Iraq's ongoing effort to reduce illegal U.S. dollar trading outside the regulated banking system. Unofficial currency markets can create volatility, weaken confidence in official exchange mechanisms, and complicate monetary policy. By encouraging more transactions to move through licensed financial institutions, Authorities aim to improve market stability and strengthen confidence in the official financial system. For long-term observers of the Iraqi dinar, these developments are important because stronger institutions often create a healthier economic environment. However, they should not be interpreted as evidence of an imminent change in the official exchange rate. As of now, neither the Central Bank of Iraq nor the Iraqi government has announced any official revaluation of the Iraqi dinar or any change to the official exchange rate policy. Responsible investors continue to monitor verified reforms rather than relying on speculation. Ultimately, experienced market participants understand that sustainable economic progress is usually built step by step. Banking reforms, stronger regulatory oversight, improved transparency, and closer cooperation with international financial partners are all pieces of a much larger process. While each individual development may appear modest, together they contribute to a stronger financial foundation that can support Iraq's long-term economic objectives. Another important factor supporting Iraq's economic outlook is the country's energy sector. Oil exports remain the primary source of government revenue, making them a critical part of Iraq's financial stability. When energy production remains strong and global demand supports export income, the government is generally in a better position to strengthen its financial reserves, fund public services, and support long-term development projects. Foreign currency reserves also play an essential role in maintaining economic confidence. Healthy reserves provide central banks with greater flexibility to manage financial challenges, support monetary policy, and respond to unexpected market pressures. For investors, strong reserves are often viewed as a sign that an economy has additional financial resilience during periods of uncertainty. That is one reason many analysts continue monitoring Iraq's fiscal position alongside its banking reforms. Economic strength is rarely determined by a single factor. Instead, it reflects the combined impact of responsible financial management, stable government revenue, sound monetary policy, and confidence in the country's institutions. As these areas continue to develop, they help create a stronger foundation for future growth. International cooperation is another area attracting significant attention. Meetings with global financial organizations, international banking partners, and foreign government officials often focus on improving financial transparency, expanding investment opportunities, and strengthening economic cooperation. These discussions are important because they demonstrate Iraq's continued efforts to integrate more closely with the international financial system. Greater international engagement can provide several long-term benefits. It can encourage foreign investment, improve access to financial expertise, strengthen regulatory standards, and support continued modernization of the banking sector. While these discussions rarely produce immediate results, they often represent another step in a much broader reform process that unfolds over many years. This broader perspective explains why experienced investors pay close attention to high-level meetings in Washington and other financial centers. The significance of these visits is not necessarily tied to one announcement or one policy decision. Instead, they offer an opportunity to observe the direction of Iraq's economic strategy and the priorities being discussed among senior officials. At the same time, it is important to remain realistic. Diplomatic meetings and financial discussions do not automatically lead to major currency events. Progress in national economies typically occurs through gradual policy implementation rather than dramatic overnight changes. Investors who understand this are generally better prepared to evaluate developments objectively instead of reacting to every rumor circulating online. This is also why careful analysis remains essential. Headlines often generate excitement, but lasting economic progress is measured by consistent reforms, stronger institutions, and improved financial governance. These are the indicators that many economists watch when assessing a country's long-term economic prospects. For anyone following the Iraqi dinar, the key takeaway is simple: monitor verified developments, pay attention to official statements, and avoid drawing conclusions before confirmed information becomes available. As of today, There has been no official announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq or the Iraqi government confirming any Iraqi Dinar revaluation, RV, or any change to the official exchange rate. The ongoing reforms remain significant, but they should be evaluated based on facts rather than speculation. One reason these meetings continue to attract so much attention is that they bring together the policymakers, financial officials, and economic advisors responsible for shaping long-term strategy. Discussions at this level often extend beyond diplomacy, covering topics such as banking reform, financial regulation, investment opportunities, regional cooperation, and economic modernization. While the public may not immediately see the outcomes, these conversations can influence the direction of future policy. For long-term investors, this is why high-level meetings deserve attention. They are not expecting every gathering to produce a major announcement. Instead, they are looking for evidence that reform efforts are continuing, that cooperation with international partners remains strong, and that Iraq is committed to improving its financial system. Those signals can be far more meaningful than speculation circulating on social media. The challenge, however, is separating genuine progress from unrealistic expectations. Whenever important meetings take place, online discussions often become filled with predictions about immediate currency changes or dramatic financial events. While those claims may attract attention, responsible investors understand that economic policy is usually developed through careful planning, gradual implementation, and official government decisions rather than sudden surprises. This is why patience remains one of the most valuable qualities for anyone following the Iraqi dinar. Economic reforms rarely move in a straight line. Governments must balance inflation, public spending, foreign reserves, banking stability, and broader economic conditions before making significant monetary decisions. Every policy change requires careful consideration because it affects businesses, investors, and millions of citizens. At the same time, many currency observers are also watching developments in Vietnam and the Vietnamese dong. Although the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong are very different currencies with different economic structures, both attract interest from long-term investors who follow emerging markets. Vietnam has continued expanding its manufacturing sector, increasing exports, and attracting foreign direct investment from companies seeking to diversify global supply chains. Combined with ongoing improvements in infrastructure and financial modernization, these developments have strengthened confidence in Vietnam's long-term economic outlook. Even so, experienced investors recognize that economic growth does not automatically translate into dramatic currency appreciation. Exchange rates are influenced by many factors, including monetary policy, trade balances, inflation, capital flows, and government objectives. Strong economic performance can support confidence over time, but it should not be interpreted as proof that a major currency event is imminent. The same principle applies when evaluating Iraq. Progress in banking modernization, stronger financial oversight, and continued international cooperation are all meaningful developments, but they should be viewed as part of a long-term economic strategy rather than evidence of an immediate change in the value of the Iraqi dinar. As of now, there has been no official announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq or the Iraqi government confirming a revaluation of the Iraqi dinar or any change to the official exchange rate. For thoughtful investors, the most reliable approach is to follow verified information, evaluate reforms over time, and avoid allowing rumors to shape investment decisions. Sustainable economic progress is built through consistent policy, institutional strength, and disciplined financial management, not through speculation or unverified claims. Those fundamentals remain the most important indicators to watch as Iraq continues pursuing its broader economic reform agenda. As the conversation surrounding Iraq's economy continues to evolve, one point remains clear. Lasting financial progress is measured by consistent reforms, not isolated headlines. Every improvement in banking oversight, regulatory transparency, digital payments, and international cooperation represents another step toward building a more resilient financial system. While these developments may not always produce immediate results, they contribute to the long-term stability that governments and investors alike seek. It is also important to remember that major economic transformations rarely happen overnight. History shows that countries typically strengthen their financial systems through years of policy adjustments, institutional reforms, and careful economic planning. Iraq's modernization efforts appear to follow that same gradual path, with authorities continuing to focus on strengthening the banking sector, improving compliance standards, encouraging investment, and expanding economic cooperation with international partners. Because of this, experienced investors understand the importance of maintaining realistic expectations. High-level meetings, diplomatic visits, and financial discussions are valuable because they provide insight into policy priorities, but they should not be mistaken for confirmation of major currency decisions. The most reliable information will always come from official statements issued by the Iraqi government and the Central Bank of Iraq. For anyone following the Iraqi Dinar, the smartest strategy is to remain informed while avoiding the temptation to react to every rumor that appears online. Financial markets are often influenced by speculation, especially when important international events take place. However, disciplined investors know that verified facts carry far greater value than social media excitement or unconfirmed reports. That is why official announcements deserve far more attention than internet predictions. As of today, there has been no official announcement from the Iraqi government or the Central Bank of Iraq confirming any revaluation, RV, of the Iraqi dinar, or any change to the official exchange rate. Any claims suggesting that such a decision has already been made should be treated with caution unless supported by official sources. Looking ahead, the issues worth monitoring include continued banking modernization, progress in financial sector reforms, improvements in regulatory oversight, international economic partnerships, energy sector performance, and the overall strength of Iraq's economy. These are the factors that economists and professional market observers typically evaluate when assessing a country's long-term financial outlook. Whether you're a long-time Iraqi dinar holder or someone simply interested in global economic development, staying informed through credible information is the best way to navigate an evolving financial landscape. Patience, careful research, and a focus on verified facts will always provide a stronger foundation than speculation. Thank you for watching. If you found this update helpful, consider subscribing to stay informed with future coverage of Iraq's economy, banking reforms, official exchange rate developments, and broader financial news. We remain committed to bringing you balanced, fact-based analysis so you can follow these important developments with greater confidence and a clearer understanding of what is confirmed and what remains speculation.